Welcome everyone to another weekly nudge with me, Rachel Wayte, over on my YouTube channel. And today I have quite a topic that is close to my heart, that I've really had to overcome myself, that I felt really led to share with you today. And it's all around the topic and the emotion of shame. It's an emotion that I know held me back for at least 10, nearly even 15 years from really, it kept me stuck, and it stopped me from really feeling and believing into who I was and what I could do and sharing my purpose and really becoming who I am now. I held on to shame for 10 to 15 years before I, realized that it was no longer serving me and it was time for me to let that go. So my question for you today is it time for you to let go of shame? Is there something that you are holding on to? Maybe it's shame, maybe it's guilt, maybe it's a fear of failure. It's a similar emotion to that. And is it time now for you to really and truly let that go? I'm going to talk to you and be completely transparent and open as to around what happened for me and why I decided it was finally time to let that go. So this can be an inspiration for you to maybe take that moment right now to forgive yourself, to let go of the emotion, to decide that there's no more hiding behind this anymore. It's time to be seen. Maybe you're hiding behind your shame. Maybe you're hiding behind your fear. Maybe you're hiding behind something that happened in the past, and you're not overcoming that, so you can move forwards. So I'm going to tell you very briefly my story, and hoping this will inspire you. By the way, if you don't know who I am an intuitive sound energy healer and spiritual mentor, and I use sound. I actually use singing, I use sound, I use intuition, and I use a lot of inspiration that flows through me from a very divine source to help people to get unstuck from the emotional, the physical, mental, spiritual blocks that really stop you from fulfilling your desires and from making that impact that you are here to make, however big or small that impact is. That shining your light, whatever it is, I help you overcome that so you can move forwards. And I want to share with you, like I said, very briefly, my story to hopefully inspire you to decide to overcome any shame or fear or guilt that you may be carrying around, that you really don't need to be carrying around anymore. So for those of you who don't know, I trained as a classical singer throughout the whole of my 20s. So throughout the whole of my 20s, I studied singing, I studied opera, I went to a music conservatoire. From the age of about 25, 26, I went to music conservatoire. So, and this had been a sort of a passion of mine, that my family had supported me through. And 2 years postgraduate, a music conservatoire was a really, really, really big thing. And actually the time I spent there, I look back on it now and I'm grateful, but the time I spent there I found very difficult. It actually dimmed my light. I lost a lot of confidence in who I am. I lost a lot of confidence in my voice. But I carried on going because there were times when I thought, okay, I'm just going to leave this. This isn't good for me. I'm not enjoying this. I keep getting rejected at everything that I'm doing, and this is not fun. But part of me was like, no, I've committed to this. I'm going to see it through to the end. And so I did. And on the, to fulfill, to pass through this postgraduate diploma in opera and classical singing, you have to give a final recital. And this is a major thing, like it's a half-hour, 40-minute final recital. Your family's there, your friends are there, your teachers are there. It's a big thing. You're all dressed up in your ball gown and you come out and perform. And I can't tell you exactly what happened to me that day, but I kind of wasn't completely 100% there. It was really difficult for me. My voice wasn't flowing as I wanted. I mean, maybe I'm just making excuses right now, but for the be all and end all of it was, that I did this a final recital, and as soon as I finished that, I just knew it was time for me to leave that place, time for me to just get away. It hadn't been a happy time for me. So, I'm waiting for my results to come through, and they come through in the post. And I'm at home, the results come through, and I open the letter, was not expecting this at all. And it said, "You have failed." And I can still feel all the emotion of upset, of shame that I'd let my family down, that I'd let myself down, that the fact that, gosh, I'd done something and I'd failed at it, and I felt so bad I couldn't tell anybody. I was so ashamed I couldn't tell a soul, couldn't tell anyone what had happened. I was too ashamed. And they even said to me, "Rachel, come back and do it again." I was like, at that point, I was like, I am not putting myself through any of that anymore. I am not going back there. I am not singing again. I am not opening my voice. I am shutting all of that down, and I'm not going to tell anyone what happened. That was my way of dealing with it. And so I didn't. I completely changed my life. I went into the corporate world. For a few years, and I carried around this shame with me for a long time. And then about 3 years ago, I knew things needed to change for me. Some of you know this. I knew things needed to change. And I started to feel like I was really stuck, and there were things that were holding back, and I had much more to give, much more to do. I'd been in the therapy. I trained as a therapist over the 10 years where I'd gone from singing to the corporate world for a couple of years, and then realized that wasn't for me. And I went into the therapy healing world. But I knew there was much more for me. I knew I had a voice to share. I knew I had a message to share. I knew I had lots of lives to impact, but I didn't know how I was going to do it. But I'd shut this down. I'd shut my voice down. I was like, this was not part of I just thought that was a part of my life that was over, and I didn't have to deal with that anymore. But as I decided to let go, as I decided to forgive myself, as I decided it was really time to be seen again, to be heard, and put myself out there in a big way again, like going out there and, being on a stage is a big thing. And I thought, I'm not going to put myself out there again. But I just felt this calling for more, and I had to overcome this shame. I had to overcome this fear. I had to forgive myself, and decided that my purpose, what I was here to do, was greater than the fear I felt about being judged, about being seen, about having to fail again, about having friends and family and people I know sort of like looking at me and seeing what I'm doing. And you know what? As I let that go, and I decided, okay, I'm going to trust, I'm going to believe in myself, I'm going to trust that God, the universe, the source is bringing me what I need. I just decided that I was ready. And the moment that I decided I was ready, I got this nudge to start singing again, to open up my voice. And as I did that, as I suddenly realized that the clients that were coming to me needed deeper healing than what I was doing, as soon as I just opened, my voice opened up, and I started healing, I started singing to them, I started helping them to really get to the deep root of what their problems were. And part of that was helping them with the vibration of my voice, with the vibrations of the angels that sing through me. And it felt amazing. And it felt that, and all that those years of going through the singing, of all that heartache, all that shame, all that I had to overcome, that I went through, made all the sense in the world, because actually what I was meant to be doing with my voice is healing, is speaking, is singing. And why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because I want this to encourage you, because if you are holding on to guilt, if you are holding on to shame, if you are holding on to fear of being successful, fear of being seen, fear of failing, it's keeping you stuck. And when you can overcome that, when you can say, I am not burdening myself with this anymore, I am not letting this sit with me, and this emotion, it's not helping me. You can free yourself from that. You can decide, no more of this. I'm freeing myself from this. amazing things can start to happen because you're no longer carrying around that heavy burden. And actually you can come into alignment with God, with Source, with the universe, whatever resonates with you. And you can begin to shine and show who you really are, and realize that what you went through, yes, it may have been difficult, it may have been a heartache, and you may really have suffered through that. There is a lesson for you to have learned from that, and hopefully you will be able to see this as a blessing. Whatever it is, whatever you went through, whatever's happened, you can see this as a blessing, which is how I see the singing world now. I don't hold resentment towards it. I see it as a blessing because it's led me to where I am now. It's led me to be able to be doing what I'm meant to be doing and sharing my gifts. So I really hope this encourages you today to decide to no more shame, no more guilt, no more fear of what others might say, no more fear of being judged. Just do you, just be you, and be authentically you, and the people who need you will be attracted to that. They will see that you are being authentic. And yes, there will be people that judge you, but do you know what? So what? I've overcome that. Like I'm not for everybody. That's okay. I'm all right with that. But I'm there for the right people who need me, and you're going to be there for the right people who need you. So I'm sending you much love. Please let me know if this resonates with you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for letting me share with you part of my story. And I'm really excited to come to you again next week with another weekly nudge. And oh yes, I forgot to say, if these do resonate with you, watch some of the other videos here on my YouTube channel. There are lots that may help you if you're feeling stuck right now. Subscribe to this channel so you see them coming through every week. And you can always go to my website, rachelwayte.com, and there you can see how I help people, how you can work with me one-to-one, and very soon you'll be able to see how you can work with me in a group way as well. I'd be excited to show you that. That will be launching in March or April 2021. So sending you much love again, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.